Hey guys, so this video is going to talk about solar, living in your car, and should you get solar, um, basically for portable power, and that whole discussion. What I've learned living in my car for almost 2 years is you don't need solar. You don't need solar. You don't need solar. Many people who get solar, they're sold on the dream. They like to do van build outs. Um, they like to think about the dream more than they like to live the dream. If you want solar, you should get solar. But in many cases, it's not practical. It's not more economical. In many cases, it's just someone who likes to do van build outs. It's just someone who likes to play the game of living in their car. But the actual practical use of solar is not relevant in their everyday life. If you use solar, you're going to have to park in the direct sunlight. You're going to have to get direct sunlight. You're going to have an extra battery in your car. Solar panels do not create the energy. Solar panels receive the energy from the sun. Then there's wires connected to that solar panel that go back to a battery. That extra battery, like a car battery, that extra battery, that's what holds the power. So somewhere in your vehicle, you have to have an extra battery. You're taking up space, you're adding another component. It's not the solar panel on the roof or the portable solar panel that has the power. It's the wire, it's the battery that connects via wires to that solar panel. That battery is what stores power. And then from that battery, that's what you're going to have some device that you plug into. And you need an inverter and all these different things that as you research, that you'll find out. You're adding more components and you're adding less practicality. In some cases, solar may be worth it, but in many cases, it's not. It's a prepper's mindset. It's people who like to. You're going to see many solar discussions are people who have a prepper mindset. It's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's wisdom. This is my experience. If I had. The one thing I would say that solar may be worth it would be with a suitcase solar, and it's the name of the company. A friend of mine actually recommended it. He's a prepper type guy. I give him credit. It's Goal Zero. That's the name of the company, Goal Zero, and it's the Yeti 150 solar kit. It's actually called like Nomad 14 or something. It's about $350. Now it comes with a fold-out solar case, but I think that takes like almost 8 hours to charge. And the battery, because it does come with a battery, the battery is like wrapped up in a piece of plastic. It's not too heavy, and it has an outlet right on it. And you can also use AC to charge the battery. You don't have to just use the solar and have it fixed in your car. You could take like that little battery pack and bring it to Starbucks, just like you would your laptop. It's very small, and it takes about 4 hours or so, I think, what I saw on YouTube, to charge. And if you go in there and you're doing work in Starbucks, you charge it for 4 hours and you bring it back in your car. And the practicality of it would run, it would keep your laptop charged, it would charge your cell phone, and it would run a fan. That's the practicality. It would run a fan and it would charge your cell phone and laptop. It's not going to run an air conditioner. It's not going to run a heater in most cases. It's just not. And that's really, all you're going to do is power devices. The fan, to me, that's like, $350 is like a year and a half, 2 years worth of batteries that you can just get D batteries to power a fan, even if you bought a pack of batteries every 2 weeks. I mean, it's not economical. And you have to spend 4 hours in Starbucks charging it, or you have to have solar panels in direct sunlight for like 8 hours. I mean, it's not practical. I don't want to stay in one I don't want to stay in one spot that long. I get anxious staying in one spot that long. That's why I'm a nomad. And I don't like to park in the direct sunlight. I like to park in the shade. And, I don't like to sit for more than 4 hours with something plugged in. Your car is a generator. Your car is a generator. Every time you start your car, you have power. You have one of the most powerful generators. When you start your car, most new cars have USB ports that you can charge devices. My Jeep Renegade even has a 12-volt regular standard outlet that you can plug into that I could charge devices. Now, obviously, at night when you sleep, you shouldn't be idling your car. In many places, to idle your car, it's illegal. You shouldn't be starting your car and let it run continuously. So, really, it's only a benefit if, you're driving, or if, you need to start it, for a little bit real quick and charge something. But you shouldn't be idling for a long period of time. So my devices, when I'm in Starbucks is doing work or something like that, they'll charge then. When I'm driving, they'll charge then. And at night, I use a fan, which I've shown many times, that takes 8D batteries, and which are like $12 at the store, 8D batteries. And every few weeks, and that's only in the summer, really. I mean, every few weeks I may have to buy a new pack, but it's still for me not worth it. And you could get rechargeable batteries too. And then you got to have an AC device. If I was to get solar, the only one that at this point for me I would say is worth it is the Yeti 150 solar kit. I'll put maybe like a little thing in the thumbnail of the description. I'm not saying, this is my perspective based on my experience of 2 years living out of my car, not spending 2 years building my van, okay, and living in front of my mom's house. This is me experience, and what I can tell you is I don't need solar. Now, if I got it, I told you the exact one I would get, and that's practical, okay? That's practical. $350 for a solar kit. It's a level of practicality, and I like the one I'm referencing, the Goal Zero Yeti 150, because you can use an AC charger to charge it. You don't always have to use the solar panel. But also take in perspective, right? My viewpoint is coming from a person who urban camps, who spends most of his time in populated areas, Walmarts, truck stops, things of that nature. I'm not deep in the woods. I'm not remote camping. I'm not camping in the middle of the desert. So for those people, this may not apply, okay? They may need solar. They may want solar. That's up to them. But what I've seen on YouTube, even the people who do that, they upgrade their solar every year and a half, every 2 years. They upgrade their batteries. They have issues with it. So they spend more money in recurring costs and problems and parking in the sunlight and different things. Look at the cycle of how often they upkeep it and different issues they have and what they're able to practically do with it. And most of them still end up going to shore power and plugging into regular power. They really don't use their solar to do anything but charge electronics and maybe a fan. So if you're going to get something, it definitely, in my opinion, should be under $1,000. And it should be something like that Yeti, where it's a portable battery that you can carry, not some fixed thing that you're going to have in your vehicle if you're living in a car or van. I think, again, it's solar is for people who want to live the dream in their mind, but practical terms of actually living this dream. For me, I'm still inspired by living in my car. It doesn't apply. It could be a nice positive if I got one. I showed you on one I would get, but I just want to say, I want to address solar and how I feel about it. Doesn't mean you have to feel the same way as me. Remember that. And it doesn't mean you're going to live the same way as me. Remember that. So it may work for you. But in many cases, if you do the cost justification, definitely if you start to go $1,000 or over, not worth it. And to me, I wouldn't even go above 500. What are you going to do with it? How often are you going to park in direct sunlight? What does it gain you? Where are you storing that battery? If all those things can't be answered, why are you doing it? Because you want, it's like the in thing to do, or it's like nice and sexy to think you're off the grid. If you live in a car, you still have to go to a gas station. Okay. What are you filling up in your gas station? You're filling up your generator. Your car is your generator. Okay. Every time you go into Starbucks, you're in a house. You have outlets to plug into. That's how every time you go to Planet Fitness, there's a lobby there when you're a member, paying member, and I'm a paying member at Planet Fitness. I'm a paying patron at Starbucks. I buy services every time I'm in both of those things. I don't just go and sit. And, there's lobbies in there for the customers to charge their components to work on their laptops. That's what you use. For me, that's what I use. You can use whatever you want. And when I'm driving my car, I always charge my electronics. So, that's how I feel about solar at this time. Do whatever you want. And living in my car for 2 years, that's my experience and my thought process. Peace and love.